Hello, I'm DK Singh. I'm here with the former IAS officer, Mr. KBS Sidhu, who has turned into a brilliant commentator after retired as Special Chief Secretary. And we keep coming to him for his perspective, insight on almost every issue, socio, political, economic. He's a brilliant commentator. But today, as we speak to him, we are going to focus on this controversy which has actually become a huge issue in Punjab over that film Satluj. He had a very special role to play when the entire thing broke out way back in '95, when human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra was actually killed by the police. The film is all about that, and you have heard so much about that film. Now, he was somebody who was DC Amritsar when that incident happened, and he was the one who ordered a magisterial inquiry into that incident. I think barely days after you came, or probably hours after you came to know about this.
On the very same day, 6th of September 95.
So, can you please take us back to then? And but before that, we would really like to know. I wonder if you have seen the movie,
I've seen the pirated version
pirated
now.
version. Yes. So, how much of that is fact and how much fiction?
देखिए, insofar as the artistic depiction of the abduction and the testimonies of the witnesses as now fructified up to the trial court, high court, and stamped with the Supreme Court, they are from that angle, insofar as his abduction, torture, and so on, those are effectively the correct and true presentation. What people may have an objection to is that, all right, it is a biopic, so you are not supposed to cover everything. You're focused on the person and his mission and the unidentified bodies that were cremated, and or the police, more particularly the Taran Taran police, first abducted you and tortured you and disposed of the body. The body has still not been found till now. So, in so far as that is concerned, it is a true sequence of events as a biopic. Now, if you want to say that it is the whole history and the complete, presentation of the state of affairs, that is where then people have a different perspective. That history is much more than. You had two DIGs dying in live encounters. You had four SSPs dying in call of duties and SP operations and so on from CRPF. And similarly, Hindu passengers being singled out of trains in hundreds in so-called peaceful districts like Ludhiana. So therefore, if it is a movie of 2 hours and 43 minutes, we don't expect us to be given equitable treatment. It is for the director and the producer to do so. But please at least give a broader context. अगर 2 घंटे 43 मिनट की मूवी है, 5 मिनट तो दिखाओ कि दूसरी साइड में क्या हो रहा था. So that people feel that after having seen the movie, and especially even those people who have lived through it, they would come to an ineluctable conclusion that the Indian state, and it is not कि बेन सिंह चीफ मिनिस्टर था, कि हरचंद सिंह बराड़ था, कांग्रेस थी, ऊपर नरसिम्हा राव था, ये था. No one is going to talk about that. The Indian state, through the instrumentality of the police, was out to commit genocide of young Sikh youth in the border areas. So that's the impression which people who have lived through it are getting. And surely the kids born in the 80s and 90s who could be now in mid 40s, agar wo dekhein in this form, and they are seeing in huge numbers, they are also forming the same opinion कि अच्छा पंजाब में ये हुआ. So that's the dichotomy. You have the artistic freedom, please do so. Make a movie. Someone wants to make another movie, he's at liberty to do so. But the selective emphasis and one-sided narration is what is bothering some people, including the Hindu community at large. Let me be very frank, including the police officers who are afraid to, hesitant, I would say, to speak even on the camera. That this is fine, it is an artistic piece of work. We are not doubting the sequence of events insofar as his abduction, torture, and murder, and brutal murder is concerned. That is judicially accepted, and a verdict is there.
I did a fine blog on this where you actually give a very balanced view of how this entire thing has to be seen. We'll come to that later. But can you take us to the day when this happened and the way you reacted after people came to you with a complaint?
You see, As a Deputy Commissioner of District Magistrate Amritsar, I had been there from 92 to 96. I was there for 4 years. 2 years I was there as Additional Deputy Commissioner Development, which was dealing with Panchayats and
And
so.
Taran Taran, where Khalra stayed, was a part of Amritsar then.
Amritsar district, and as DC Amritsar, one was interacting with 3 SSPs, Amritsar, Taran Taran, which is Ajit Singh Sandhu portrayed in this movie, and Amritsar Rural also called Majita. So, and by the 2 years of Byan Singh government, so February 94, it looked that situation is normal, the daily abductions, encounters, killings, those had petered off, and people were saying normalcy ab return ho gayi hai. Then the bolt out of the blue is 31st of August 95 when Sitting Chief Minister Byan Singh is assassinated in bomb blast outside the Secretariat in Chandigarh. So that kind of shook the people and the administration, including the police, because it was a massive police failure also. If you are unable to protect your own Chief Minister, incidentally, no one has been called on to account on that account. So, Mr. Khalra was the General Secretary of the Human Rights Wing of Shromani Akali Dal. And there was a middle level leader, 2-3 dafa wo mile, hame ye chahiye, wo chahiye. And his research was essentially getting hold of the cremation registers, which the Municipal Corporation Amritsar, 3 of them, and the Mofussil towns of Taran Taran and Patti. They were, being described as unidentified. The running registers, so and so, son of so and so, cause of death, natural, वो सारों में से about 2000 were over a period of 15 years unidentified. So
Was that the official figure or was that Khalra's?
This is a figure which comes out of ultimately the Supreme Court and subsequently it was referred to the National Human Rights Commission. वहाँ का जो figure emerge करता है वो 2097 है. So one would say that उसमें then the various categorizations would take place, but that is the type of thing on which Mr. Khalra was pursuing, and in the first place he had gone during his lifetime to the Punjab and Haryana High Court.
Saying what? What was his
saying कि ये हुए हैं आपके रिकॉर्ड के मुताबिक, these are cremations of unidentified people. So how can a person be unidentified?
Basically hinting at fake police encounters, custodial
unless proven otherwise, this is a fake encounter. It's a custodial killing. Let it be investigated.
That was his point.
That was his point. And Punjab and Haryana High Court had actually dismissed his writ petition, saying it is too vague and too general. कोई specific है तो आप बताइए. So he was in appeal before the Supreme Court of India, and that appeal was pending before the bench of Justice Kuldeep Singh. And now, coming to the fateful day, 6 days after Byan Singh's assassination, Harcharan Singh Barar already has been sworn in the Chief Minister. So I'm sitting, let's say, around 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. in my office, and people come, 10-15 बंदे के जी खालड़ा साहब को ले गए हैं, वो प्लेन क्लोज में थे एंड बीच में पुलिस वाले लग रहे थे, तो आप यू आर द डीसी बताइए. तो हम थाने से पता करके हैं इस्लामाबाद पुलिस स्टेशन नियर गुरु नानक देव यूनिवर्सिटी. तो वो कह रहे जी हमारे पास
पुलिस स्टेशन वाज कॉल्ड इस्लामाबाद.
हाँ, इट्स दैट एरिया ऑफ इस्लामाबाद एरिया, local locality. So he said कि आप so my first port of call was, because that place where he lived was in Amritsar police district, so my logical call was to the SSP Amritsar. तो उसने was categorical कि जी नाम खालड़ा साहब हमें चाहिए किसी केस में, nor do we have him. So those were not the day and age of mobile phones. So we are talking about 95. तो वायरलेस मैसेज पे कंटेक्ट करने की कोशिश की टू एसएसपी अमृतसर तरन तारन अजीत सिंह संधू. ही सेड दैट कि जी वो तो अपना गए हैं फील्ड में, आते हैं तो बात करवाते हैं. ही ऑफ कोर्स रिवर्ट्स बैक द नेक्स्ट डे टू से कि जी ना खालड़ा साडे कोल है ते ना सानू चाहिदा. एंड इन द मीन टाइम दोज पीपल वर गेटिंग रेस्टिव कि जी खालड़ा साहब हैं कितने फिर जे. हाँ जी, एसएसपी तरन तारन इज नॉट रीचेबल. So I, on their petition, in the meantime, few lawyers had also come. I marked a magisterial inquiry to the ADM, Additional District Magistrate, concurrent powers of the ADM, to look into this and conduct a magisterial inquiry. वो मौके पर गए, recorded the statement of witnesses, कौन सी गाड़ी थी, number याद है, and all that. Now let us be very clear that magisterial inquiry cannot, convict anyone. All it does is get the statement on oath, and the person cannot resile from that. Because should he do so, then it is perjury. So in the meantime, Khalada साहब का को पता नहीं लग रहा एक दिन दो दिन. So magisterial inquiry, as I was saying, basically helps you to record the statement of witnesses, and it you cannot convict any person on that behalf. So telegrams were shot off by his wife, Mrs. Khalada, and the president of SGPC, Jadar Gurcharan Singh Toda, to Supreme Court, and they ultimately landed up in the same bench. And no, it was something from Supreme Court's perspective also, that here's a petitioner who's alleging disappearances and fake encounters to the extent of 2,000 people
Has himself disappeared.
has disappeared, and no one seems to know. So and Supreme Court did not act in undue haste कि वही एकदम कर दिया. Notices were issued to State of Punjab and to the 3 SSPs. We also got as Deputy Commissioner or District Magistrate. We filed a short affidavit कि जी magistrate inquiry चल रही है, and we are trying to determine. And Ajit Singh Sandhu's personal affidavit was also there, that we have neither him in our custody nor required for questioning.
That's SSP
Taran Taran. So uska bhi affidavit hai. But on 15th of November 1995, Supreme Court then ordered a regular CBI RC, which is an FIR, into the investigation. So then the CBI took over. Our magisterial inquiry was subsumed into that. And CBI, of course, is very professional. वो चलते हैं कहाँ से कौन गया वहाँ देखा नहीं देखा and all that. And obviously questioning various police officials. Ajit Singh Sandhu, the SSP, was also taken into custody, formally arrested. On one account, it is said कि वो जेल में उसे attack भी हुआ, and he was thrashed up, and he was out on bail. And in somewhere, I think, May, June 97, he committed suicide by jumping in front of a train near Chandigarh. In the meantime, Badal government had come in February, Prakash Singh Badal government in February 97. So the investigation really was not going anywhere because there were no eyewitnesses, A. B, the body was never found and has not been found. So then there was a star witness eventually emerged, a special police officer, SPO, by the name of Kuldeep Singh. And to place in context, SPOs at that time were kind of daily wager private citizens who were inducted with minimal training to basically assist a constable, more like home guards rather than. So he was in the personal establishment of the SHO of police station Chabal, where he said to have been detained. And he ultimately became the star witness. He was detained here. He was in police station Chabal. These were the people who were interrogating him, questioning him, torturing him. Then he was taken to the farmhouse of SSP Taran Taran, and KPS Gill is stated to have been inside. मैंने देखा नहीं, लेकिन 1.5 घंटे बाद वो वापस आ गए. And then finally that मुझे कहा कि गर्म पानी लेके आओ, and while I went to fetch water, so heard 2 shots, and by the time I came, Khalada Sahab was lying in a pool of blood. उसके बाद वो कहते जी उठाओ body को, and फलां 2 गाड़ियों लेके his body was disposed of in Harike Canal or Harike Barrage. There are huge canals, more like rivers, heading to Rajasthan. So this is the sequence of events, but the path was not so simple. This SPO Kuldeep Singh, as his testimony ultimately reveals before special court and his statements to the CBI and to the mainstream press also, is that he said it was not as if he went immediately and say कि जी मैं बताता हूँ. He was mortally afraid कि मैं इतनी बड़ी police establishment को बोलूँ where even the DGP like KPS Gill is in shadow of doubt, and your SSP Taran Taran is very much alive. He may have been suspended or he may be in police custody. So as long as Ajit Singh Sandhu was alive, this person did not appear before the CBI or did not cooperate with the CBI. So irrespective of what happened in the background, I have no personal knowledge. But eventually, as a matter of record, is that in March 98, so almost 2.5 years after the abduction, he finally appears before CBI, cooperating, saying that this is a sequence of events and this is what I have seen myself. And still he had apprehensions, and because at the end of the day, a statement before CBI is in camera till it is produced in the court कि कल को ये leak होगी, CBI क्या है, पुलिस ही तो है ना. So then he also contacted the reporter of Indian Express at Amritsar, and who in turn talked to his resident editor. And in Indian Express, Chandigarh edition put a 2-pager in May '98. After that, he was kind of feeling safe, but still, he was petitioning to the High Court and Supreme Court कि मुझे पंजाब पुलिस, in spite of the changed political dispensation, and Khalra Sahab, to place in context, was the General Secretary Human Rights of that political party. He was given CRPF protection and so on. So ultimately, the thing proceeded. My testimony, a statement before CBI was, 2 lines कि हमने किया. तो ये उन्होंने मौके पे जाके ADM साहब ने अपनी प्रारंभ की inquiry, and similarly in Patiala court also, because it was a kind of a sportive evidence to show that the person had been abducted at that point.
This is your testimony to a court and to the CBI?
First CBI and then court. So the entire prosecution's case, the star witness is SPO Kuldeep Singh. So of course, if there were 6 accused eventually against whom it was tried, Ajit Singh Sandhu was never tried. He died before that. KPS Gill was never charged in this case. And therefore, 6, top defense lawyers grilling him in cross-examination कि आप पहले क्यों नहीं बोले, आप तो ये चाहते थे कि आपको पक्का करो, and उन्होंने नहीं किया, रूल मुताबिक बनता नहीं था, and therefore you have come like this. And also there is this FIR against you where you are said to have accepted 50,000 rupees from Bibi Khalra to depose against the police, to strengthen their case, make it politically this. But eventually, be that as it may, the boy, he stuck to his testimony and subject to rigorous cross-examination. And importantly, the trial court, believed or relied on that testimony. So, of course, there could have been other forensic evidence, but वो क्या होगा जब बॉडी नहीं मिली, ना कोई हथियार बरामद हुआ जिससे मारा, कोई बैलिस्टिक टेस्ट हो या कुछ हो.
Any idea where this SPO is now?
I think he died sometime in 2011. His widow is still there.
So
हाँ जी.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know, local, his brother or Khalra Saab's brother, I think, appeared. So he gave that statement, and the trial court was kind of judicious in awarding punishments. These are 2 people who were there when the shot was fired, so we'll convict them for murder and life imprisonment. The other people are कोई SHO है, कोई कुछ है लेके आने में. So they were convicted for abduction and kidnapping.
Before the CBI took it over, your ADM was inquiring into it. What were his initial findings?
Initial finding was that he has been taken by the police.
He said that.
हाँ, मतलब वो जो प्राइवेट कार थी उसका नंबर आया, उसका किस पे आया, it was on the name of some local official and those type of things.
You were the Deputy Commissioner of Amritsar, the height of militancy, 92 to 96. You must have come across many such complaints of so-called disappearances of bodies, what Khalra was fighting about. What was your experience? Were there too many such cases coming to you, or was he just one whistleblower was trying to unearth things which people were not aware of?
You see, this type of extortion, killing, police encounters, they had been going on since 1984. I mean, it was not a new phenomenon. Rather, by 94 February, things seem to have abated. So, आज किसी को उठा लिया. Today, passengers have been, offloaded, segregated on the basis of religion and shot. Then, police members of their family by scores being butchered, and then operation taking place, areas being cordoned, 7 militants killed, but 3 police people killed, live encounters of Ratol, Bella, and on one side it was being said militants have been killed, and they were saying you were using civilians as human shields, and Gagobuha encounter where a brigadier was seriously injured, and so this was going on. Now, insofar as the police angle is concerned, when an encounter happens, what the law requires is an inquest under 174 has to take place, which means post-mortem and the circumstances under which is a police matter. And ultimately, the, they will say कि identified a body के नहीं. If it is not identified, they would cremate it in the municipal this thing. If they were really trying to cover up something in that sense, then why would they bring the body to a municipal corporation cremation yard? वो कहते यार मुझे हमें पता नहीं लग रहा, बंदे मरे हैं, ये 7 बंदे इस इनकाउंटर में मरे हैं, 3 हमारे मरे हैं, वी हैव ट्राइड आवर बेस्ट टू आइडेंटिफाई देम, नहीं आइडेंटिफाई तो क्या करें हम? वहीं लिखेंगे नॉट नोन, बट इनकाउंटर इज जेन्युइन. And if there are other encounters which are not genuine, where CBI investigation separately have come, and within the same period, my own hunch is anything between 125 to 140 Punjab police officers and officials have been convicted, not necessarily for a fake encounter, for extortion, for kidnapping, and so on. So we would call an encounter a fake one when, like in Khalra Saab's case, it is judicially adjudicated upon and conviction upheld up to the Supreme Court. तो दूसरा उसमें ये था कि in rare cases, which is also a fact, कि identify हो गया, वो कहते जी आपका लड़का मारा गया, and people would come and say कि जी he has been on the run for 4 years, हाँ जी, उसकी छोटी बहन की हमने शादी भी करनी है, हाँ जी, अब इसकी बॉडी हम तो घर लेके नहीं जाएंगे, आप इसका संस्कार करना जो करो, हमने तो भोग डालना होगा, चुपके से डाल लेंगे. So now, so to be very clear, and by way of, since we are speaking on camera, no encounter by whatever name as a fake encounter, extrajudicial killing, mysterious disappearances was justified then, is justified now, or would ever be justified in anywhere within the framework of the Constitution. But to say that every encounter is by definition fake is not true. To say that every encounter was genuine, that is not true. जहाँ inquiry है, वहाँ inquiry होके आगे हुई है. And where the magisterial inquiry, which was very strict from the day one, was that if there is death in police custody or highly suspicious circumstances like in Khalra Saab case, then instead of 174 CRPC, 176 CRPC comes in, which is by an executive magistrate. And उसमें इस मूवी में भी दिखाया कि जी ये एक डबल किलिंग का केस है. That's a very interesting case, and that place is Khalra. The SHO comes with a body, कि डॉक्टर साहब to the senior medical officer कि आप इसका जी पोस्टमार्टम कीजिए, ये इनकाउंटर में मारा गया. And the body is lying on this thing, the mortuary for this thing. वो कहता है कि ये तो जिंदा है, हाँ जी, तो इसका इलाज करते हैं. And the SHO says कि जी नहीं, ये डॉक्टर साहब मर जाएगा, तो हम तो इसे रेफर करो to मेडिकल कॉलेज अमृतसर. सीनियर मेडिकल ऑफिसर, सिविल ऑफिसर पट्टी कहता जी मेरे सामने से वो ले गए. तो 10 मिनट बाद आ गए कि डॉक्टर साहब ये तो मर गया, अब इसका पोस्टमार्टम कर दो. I distinctly remember because a young IAS officer by the name of B. Vikram was esteemed patti there. And उसका मुझे फ़ोन आया कि भाई sir, this is what has happened. I said immediately you start conducting an inquest, because otherwise this is going to be coming on you कि एक जिंदा बंदा आपके सामने ले गए, and either the poor senior medical officer will become complicit. तो उन्होंने inquest start की. In the meantime, वहाँ सतपाल डांग, communist leader, his wife was Vimla Dang was sitting MLA. उनकी तारें गई सुप्रीम कोर्ट को. They said no, session judge would conduct the inquiry. वो inquiry हुई, and subsequently I think convictions also took place. So civil administration was acting selectively, but to place this thing in Punjab, in General Amritsar, and since Blue Star 84, that every encounter which is taking place, that you start not an inquest but an inquisition, that was not the case, and that is not required under the law. But where blatant abuse has taken place, as I've said, 140 odd people stand convicted, and the police people have their own view on that they were fighting a nation's war, and they could have been eligible for a gallantry award, and here now they are facing murder charges. So that's their perspective, but the process of law is this, and that is how things unfolded.
And KPS Gill is getting vilified after so many years today.
There is a polarity. I mean, if you still ask any police official, person who are at the highest ranks today, must have been ASP under training. I mean, we are talking of 95, people of 92 batch and so on are still at the DGP level. So they would, for them, he's a hero and so on. And Captain Amrinder Singh on record has, categorically defended him. But as my personal view is fine. The other view is that both Mr. KPS Gill and Mr. JF Rivero were at the helm of affairs since Blue Star. And Punjab remained under President's rule then also, and then from 87 to 92. And there was no popular government, no chief minister, no MLA, no, this thing to interfere. But the terrorism could not be controlled. I mean, so although Byan Singh government came and we know it was a friendly match and the moderate Akali Dal headed by Captain Amrinder Singh was supposed to win, but they got minimal votes and but large number of seats. तो हो गए तो उन्होंने फिर पंचायत इलेक्शन कराई टू bolster their own legitimacy. That happened within 1 year of the government, January 93 में. And that 12,500 panchayats and sarpanches being elected, directly elected, not at mercy of punches. So that kind of created that feedback channel. Otherwise, the vicious circle was कि जी इज्जतदार फैमिली है, हम बैठे थे तो 4 सिंह आए, सॉल्टेन थी उनके पास कि जी सिंघां दी सेवा करो, कि खाना खाया, दूध पिया, रात काटी, and off they went in the morning at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. The police lands up and okay, you are harboring criminals and terrorists, which is a heinous offense under TADA. तो हम क्या करें? In microscopic cases, muffled voices के जी they also abused the women folk जो रात वाले थे. और काउंटर रेज के जी वही एजेंसियां वाले करते हैं, रात को पुलिस वाले धाड़ा खुला छोड़ के अतवादी बन जाते हैं एंड सुबह वो पुलिस वाले वर्दी डाल के आ जाते हैं कि आपके पास आतंकवादी आए. बट व्हेन द पंचायत्स केम then there was a legitimate level, howsoever small, वो जाते हैं, मतलब एक पंचायत आई है, 2 पंचायतें आई हैं, they would go to the SHO not only to vouch for those people but also to create an information network. कि जी उतने मशकूकी suspicious boys are loitering around, we don't know who they are, at least they don't belong to this village. And then miraculously within 1 or 2 years things were normal, or quite normal, till the bolt out of the blue of Byan Singh's assassination in last year of August 95.
So now that you've seen the movie, you think Punjab was better without this movie?
So that's a $1 million question. The question is, the movie has been released. I mean, to put it in the context, they produced a movie. They are at liberty to do so. Under the law, you have the censor board 120 plus cuts they had recommended. They refused to accept those. They said it is unreasonable. You are not even allowing us to name Punjab. They went to Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court didn't give them relief. They withdrew that civil writ petition. And for 2.5 years, the things were lying dormant. Now there's a regulatory gap, which Government of India, I'm sure, is now trying to look into, that the same movie which required 120 cuts, and even after that it was an adult-only movie, with a simple certification of an OTT channel, you can stream into the houses where young kids could be there. So why within 48 hours it was taken off? That order of banning, whether it is, I don't know, 69A or B of Information Technology Act, that has not seen the light of the day. But usme, that section talks in terms of national security and also public order. But अब वो घर घर में पंजाब में है, गुरुद्वारों में स्क्रीन की जा रही है. Now that's another aspect कि 8 साल का बच्चा देख रहा है, which the Indian law says कि it's an adult only movie. I'm sure the people who are exposing the kids to that type of traumatic, I would say, it is for them
what kind
to
of impact will it have on their
it will. I mean, I'm speaking for myself that if we have lived through that, so I was also impacted for about a couple of days के अच्छा यार ये, because artistically it is beautifully played. Now conspiracy theories के जी भाजपा ने करवाई, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने करवाई, अब जब देखा कि बुट्टी बढ़ रही है तो ये पोलराइज करना चाहते थे. अब everyone actually is on a back foot. I mean, now if you want a political analysis, very rudimentary, the Badal group, which say Khalra sahab हमारे थे, then why was the star witnesses being hounded by police or police agents while
Badal Sahib became CM.
was the CM? And later on, Bibi Khalda in 2019 Lok Sabha elections from what is a Panthik Lok Sabha seat. So why did you, field Bibi Jagir Kaur, your own candidate, and both the ladies lost and Congress won? And as recently as last week, when Akal Takht had this prayer Ardas meeting at Harike Batan, which is the confluence of Satluj and Beas, where the body is said to have been disposed of, Ardas for all such, collective one, then Shromani Akali Dal, including Sukhbir Singh Badal and other leaders, they were conspicuously absent. If Advocate Harjinder Singh Tami was there, he was not there as an Akali leader, he was there as president of the SGPC. And same applies to the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. No Sikh leader from them was there in that Ardas. And Congress उसमें क्या करेगी, वो बैकफुट पे है कि जी आपने ब्लू स्टार करवाया, you are responsible for the anti-Sikh genocide following Mrs. Gandhi's assassination, not only in Delhi, elsewhere. आप क्या बात कर रहे हो? Aam Aadmi Party with less historical luggage would not be so much on the back foot. But now this confirmed, unconfirmed news that those 6 people who were convicted, whether they have been given remission, reprieve or parole or not come back. So we really don't know who gave or not gave, was it permanent? So those questions also being asked. And as far as BJP is concerned, I don't know whether Mr. Bittu spoke for himself or for the party. He had a conflict of interest. On one side, he was supposed to defend his grandfather, the Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Jaswant Singh, and on the other side, he was to present the, agony of the Hindu community and also the valor of the police forces. And in doing so, he launched a tirade against Diljit Dosanjh, who at the end of the day was merely an actor doing his role. So then, of course, there was damage control, like Iqbal Singh Lalpura and Phulka Saab coming to defense. But उन्होंने क्या कि हमने मूवी कैंसिल की है नहीं की, उसमें there is ambiguity, and that order at least should be a legal order. That has not seen the light of.
So how will it play out politically? We are just 6-7 months away from the elections.
That's again a $64 million question. The question is, irrespective of what the intentions could have been to release by the producer, OTT, BJP, central government, 4-5 stakeholders, irrespective of what they may have intended, sometimes, the unintended consequences of such decisions can be, entirely different. So my own hunch is that within 48 hours, people found that the potential damage, I would say the potential damage perhaps could be much more. And all this banning and all these sections, including the National Security Act, is based on apprehension. It is saying that हमें लगता है कि ये करने से ये होगा. Public order means, stresses within community where, people may start fighting. National security would mean that even microscopic elements of Khalistani demeanor, sitting here or this thing, maybe, then exploited by foreign forces, including Pakistan and ISA. So what should the government do? Err on the side of, plugging that 1% probability, or saying कि जी हम we are, free speech preach कर रहे हैं, तो ये चलने दो, उसमें क्या होगा? Is Indian Republic so fragile? Is Punjab so weak that these fault lines is Hindu-Sikh unity?
So where do you stand on that?
My stand is very clear that, as I told you on encounters, I have said that you cannot justify any extrajudicial killing then and now. This thing is very clear that movie he has made, you cannot dictate a person what type of movie. You want to focus on a particular thing, please do so. Someone wants to make a movie on KPSGL, let them do so. Someone wants to make on Blue Star and tanks rolling, do so. But obviously subject to the law of the land. If your censor board etc. says वो होना चाहिए, regulatory gap है. But when people say कि जी वो movie सारा कुछ दिखाए, context must have been there. But a narrative and history are two different things. Now people are talking in terms of a truth commission, people's commission. There the history, there that history should be total and complete and not partial. Because once you shine the light on a particular aspect and tell that story and artistically in a beautiful manner and impactful manner, and you miss out the overall the other side of the story, then not as an artistic work but as a chronicler of history, that is definitely not desirable. So
But that is not something the producer or the director is claiming. I mean, it's not trying to be a chronicler of history.
one is not blaming them.
Mm.
They did what they thought was right, but the government and the government officials and the authorities whosoever are exercising the powers under the Information Technology Act, and they would not have acted in vacuum. उनको भी कोई IB की report कोई आई होगी, सारा कुछ हो. And here again is, what are you trying to apprehension? Are you going to bolt the stable after the horse is run? कि पंजाब में let us say 0.1% कोई दंगा फसाद एक जगह हुए, तो then you would say government is sleeping over. सामने दिख रहा था यार इस तरह की मूवी आई है. So government itself, even if it acted belatedly, is the right thing to do. Now each political party is trying to, fish in troubled waters and trying to extract the capital out of which they are expected to do as political party. If they think they can put the central government or BJP on back foot, they will do. If they think, Shramani Akali Dal can claim the legacy of Khalra Sahab, they will do. If the Congress party will say कि जी Blue Star ठीक है हुआ सारा, दो बारी कैप्टन साहब की सरकार आ ली, अब तो now we are the party which will take, we are the Hindu Sikh unity people, and Aam Aadmi party will say ये सारी देखो वहाँ वो free speech muffle कर रहे हैं, these people are complicit, इनका chief minister था जब Khalra साहब हुए, and ये they have disowned their own person.
But there's a much bigger danger here. You have been talking, everybody is talking about growing radicalism in Punjab society today. This film may end up feeding into that.
That is the apprehension, but I don't think, that radicalism, obviously, people go to the last Lok Sabha election and say, ji, Amritpal Singh won from Khadur Sahib. The other gentleman, Sarabjit Singh, he won from Faridkot. The convicted assassin's, son, जिन्होंने वो किया था, was perhaps not convicted, शायद was killed there on the spot. Irrespective, I see that as also a failure of the mainstream political parties, that there are issues like drugs, unemployment, and lack of opportunity, no investment coming, and people not talking in terms of health and education. And so where would those people with the visa regimes, being tightened and so on, so they see no future in, no agenda and no program in any of the regular political parties, and therefore as a kind of a momentary reaction, they have shown that we voted for Amritpal Singh. In '89 they voted in huge numbers when for Simranjit Singh Mann and his independent candidates. That is when the VP Singh government came to power. So, but those are reflection of the dissatisfaction and radicalization. इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज का शुरू से ही रहा है कि पंचायत इलेक्शन कराओगे खालसा पंचायत बन जाएंगी, 5 साल इलेक्शन मत कराओ यहाँ ये हो जाएगा. जम्मू कश्मीर में डोंट हैव लोकल बॉडीज एंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट बोर्ड इलेक्शन, ये हो जाएगा. सो आई थिंक बैड डेमोक्रेसी इज बेटर देन नो डेमोक्रेसी, एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी नीड टू लर्न, एंड पंजाब इज दैट वे स्ट्रॉन्ग. एंड on this point, I would also use this opportunity of this forum, that SGPC, which is a statutory body managing the Sikh shrines and now confined, Haryana have their separate body, uski last election has happened only in 2011.
Yeah.
So the voting age is 21. From there, 15 years, a new generation of youth has come, which has not had the opportunity to, vote for what is arguably the mini parliament of the Sikhs. क्यों? किसने करवाना है? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने करवाना है. चीफ गुरुद्वारा कमिश्नर इज अपॉइंटेड बाय देम, इंटरस्टेट बॉडी है. तो वो क्यों नहीं करवा रहे? whom does the status quo suit? Status quo is suiting the Badal Akali Dal because they have the full house. Every year you elect a president from the same house, but the normal term of which was 5 years. तो अब अगर सरकार से पूछते हैं, या इनफॉर्मली होम मिनिस्ट्री की बात होती है कि जी अगर कोई दूसरे रेडिकल आ गए, रेडिकल आगे तो भाई रेडिकल आगे तो दिस इज सेंट्रल एक्ट.
होम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफिसर्स टेल यू
इनफॉर्मली, आई मीन द पर्सन वाज द लास्ट चीफ गुरुद्वारा इलेक्शन कमिश्नर, मैंने कहा सर अब ये कर क्यों नहीं रहे? वो कहते जी अभी वो इशारा नहीं हुआ, वी आर स्टॉप एडलिंग, उसका टर्म खत्म हो गया जस्टिस आरों का, नो न्यू पर्सन हैज बीन अपॉइंटेड, आई मीन दैट पोस्ट इज लाइंग वेकेंट, एंड इन द मीन टाइम द सेम बॉडी अपॉइंट्स द जथेदार्स, रिमूव्स द जथेदार्स, and there is no rules and regulations for doing that. And last year when there was a furore against removal of the Jathedar Akal Takht, they said, "Ji Vidhi Vidhan banayenge, we'll frame the rules and regulations." So everyone submitted. I, as a private citizen, I also submitted. But again, it suits them. The executive committee, coming out of the same general house, which was elected in 2011, appoints and removes the Jathedar. And on one side, we say the Jathedar Shri Akal Takht, he's the representative of the institution, which is the supreme temporal authority of the Sikhs. So वो करवाइए कम से कम, let a representative body come. A body which was there in 2011 no longer, in my opinion, represents the Sikhs, whether it is confined to management of Gurdwaras or otherwise.
Talking about Akal Takht, here's the situation where the state's chief minister is supposed to be excommunicated.
He's not formally been excommunicated. They passed an order. देखिए, Akal Takht institution, one has to understand that the SGPC Act of 1925, which is British era enactment, that talks in terms of head minister of Shri Akal Takht. Whereas the institution of Jathedar of Akal Takht precedes even that enactment by 300 years. The sixth Sikh Guru, Miri Piri, spiritual and temporal aspects, combined together. So they have been for down 300 years eminent personalities holding that office much before the SGPC came. So now, when I have said that the Jathedar is literally at the player of the executive, and I can say in all honesty on camera, because you can remove him and appoint new one, no qualification, no nothing. So therefore, वो कर रहे हैं. I don't want to put any motives on them, and उन्होंने क्या गुरु को दुख किया and all that. So there is a FIR of Gurgaon which is going on. They have asked the sacrilege law to be amended. Usme bhi, as a private citizen, I have actually sent a draft bill. I said, this is something which is compliant with the Constitution of India. This is compliant with what Adesh Jathedar Sahab has given, and this is compliant with what you directed when all MLAs were there. So have a consensus. Now, usko excommunicate karna, then you get into theological debate that this is a concept only in Christianity. And unko to Guru ka dukh hi bola na ji. And he had only gone to the secretariat of Akal Takht. On the main facile, he has not been even invited to or summoned to appear. वो कहते हैं जी आपके बाल काटे हुए हैं and all that. So the other view which some historians hold, I may not subscribe to that. वो कहते हैं जी, how can a body which its job is to manage gurudwaras come between me and my guru? I also have constitutional rights of faith expression, belief, faith and worship. तो मैं अपने गुरु को मान रहा हूँ कि मुझे कौन ये निकाल सकता है. So that is one perspective.
But can the CM afford to say that?
That is for him to politically take a view. I'm giving a perspective which, some of the Sikh scholars, especially sitting in Canada, etc., are, openly saying.
But as it is, how will the Akal Takht's order impact the AAP's prospects here in the next election?
देखिए ये होता है ना कि again politics is so complex. If it were so simple to win elections by appointing a director general or an advocate general, कि ये election जीत जाएंगे उसको लाओ, and having an Akal Takht either on its own wisdom or at the prompting of a political party to issue a hukumnama, adesh, whatever name, usse jeeta jata hai. So sometimes those things can boomerang. After all, when the Dera chief was pardoned and condoned by the same very Jathedar Akal Takhts in 2014 and 15, so that boomeranged on that. So you never know whether it was going to ruin the this things of Aam Aadmi Party, more particularly the chief minister, or whether it is going to further bring the Akali Dal down, and maybe a third party or a Congress party, if they play their cards well, they could perhaps reap the benefit.
So there's so many things I want to talk to you about, but we're running out of time. So let me ask you something on a lighter note before we let you go. Your latest blog on Patiala Peg.
Yeah.
The history of Patiala Peg. Can you tell us about that?
Of course, my home district is Bathinda, and it was a part of the Nabha princely state, but I have been literally, educated in Yadavindra Public School, Patiala, which is named after the father of Captain Amrinder Singh. So we've been through the, Patiala, so-called hallowed royal circles, and वहीं engineering मैंने की. So इसका आता रहता कि भी पटियाला के in fact Patiala peg is one of the three things. Patiala peg, the Patiala pug, and third is in the good old hunting days, pug marks, getting after the big game hunting.
All around the royal family.
So, but Patiala peg, the anecdote which is widely believed is that Maharaj Bhupinder Singh and he's the person who incidentally donated the Ranji Trophy, which is still going around, domestic cricket, was donated by Maharaj Bhupinder Singh, the grandfather of Captain Amrinder Singh. So there was supposed to be a cricket match with the Viceroy's team or something. तो वो कहते जीतना जरूर है जी. तो क्या करें, one day before in a royal regal meal and banquet, तो वो जो आना शुरू हो गया, तो instead of the normal 30 ml, they were pouring 60 and this thing, 90 ml. And to cut the long story short, the Viceroy's team was sozzled the next day. And
in fact, I read your piece and I asked Captain Amrinder Singh about this.
Okay.
And then he started describing the entire thing. As you've mentioned, his grandfather, Bhupinder Singh, was doing this. And Lala Amarnath was part of the Ludhiana team, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry, Patiala team.
Okay, wow.
And Lala Amarnath was asked to go home early
Okay.
by Raja Bhupinder Singh. Go, don't drink anything, go to sleep today.
Yeah.
While the guest team was made to kind of, get lost. And as you have mentioned, these four fingers. So Captain Amrinder Singh was saying, a grandfather ordered like, okay, so it has to be like this.
That is how much of depth should be there, And the other thing which those people say is there's also the size of the glass. That the smaller glasses with the same depth was being given to the local hosts also, and there were broader glasses. And as a student of geometry, it goes by the square of the radius. So if your glass is twice, you have 4 times the for the same depth.
So the cricket owes it to. Particularly owes it to cricket.
So that is the tradition, and I would love to keep on believing that tradition. And people do enjoy their drink, and they're not ashamed of it. And in fact, when Captain Amrinder Singh returned to power, then his single malt and Glenfiddich was favorite, and suddenly the Chandigarh circles of golf club and various single malt clubs were coming up. Maharaj Sahab is now not on Scotch. And if you ask Captain Amrinder, this Scotch is jolly, this is not, unless I get Scotch from Scotland, this is all bottled in this place and all that. Glenfiddich, single malt. And
so you have mentioned another thing about this Patiala peg in your blog. You talked about some Irish team coming, and there was...
No, that is also a belief, but I think the major was the Viceroy's team. So that's a belief, and people say this is not only time they use this trick. They were perhaps going there, or Irish team was coming, but main was the Viceroy's team, and Patiala has got a lovely cricket field. I mean, if you see the Maharani Club and many a Ranji Trophy match, and Amarnath brothers and Bishan Bedi and Madan Lal, they all grew out of Patiala and Punjab team before they migrated to Delhi.
So Patiala peg defeated Viceroy's team.
Patiala peg raised the spirits of the Patiala cricket team, and the Viceroy's team was responsible to drink responsibly.
So as you written that you have this Patiala peg and you still leave a little room left for what you call diplomatic.
नहीं, वो तो ड्रग्स एंड लीज का वो कंसेप्ट है दैट यू आर नॉट सपोज टू इस सारा ही कर जो यू आर थोड़ा सा फिर भी छोड़ दो उसके बाद like you're not supposed to take the last serving on this thing. That is kind
of... For some water, there is room some water in that glass. So that's what you've said.
And they are miscible in the sense that 30 ml of alcohol and 30 ml of water you add, it will not be 60 because there are some interstitial spaces into which it vanishes. So there are many theories. But fact of the matter is the Patiala peg leads the pack, and this is a brand in itself. And of course, from the ladies' angle, if you want to have, maybe I should be attempting that blog, the Patiala Pranti and the Patiala Salwar and those are also, international fashion icons emerging, not only here, Pakistan, abroad, Canada.
So, thank you very much for talking to us.
No, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.